Hello children, in the history, our Karnataka lesson is completed. Today we are learning the geography lesson, Europe. It is also called as Peninsula of Asia. In the first step, we learned Asia continent children, our continent that we learned. In the second step, we are learning the Europe continent. We will learn about that one. See some points I wrote about the continent children. Europe continent, afterwards I will show that in the map. Europe is the sixth largest continent. 7 continents are there. According to size we are taking means Asia is the largest, second Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, then Europe, last one is Australia. Like this, according to their size, they are arranged 7 continents. It is the sixth largest, but it is densely populated, very thickly populated, because Europe continent is rich continent children. It is a rich continent, because of that it is densely populated. Population is very much. Then in the Europe continent there are 56 countries are there. 56 countries are there. Location we are taking is it is in the northern hemisphere. This Europe is in the northern hemisphere. Northern, how it is children? See, if it is the top, middle one is the equator. Whatever the top portion is there above the equator, that is northern hemisphere. What is that below the equator? That is southern hemisphere. So this Europe is completely in the northern hemisphere. Followed towards east it is there. Then what is the size extent of the Europe continent means? The size is 10.4 million square kilometers. Million square kilometers. In a simple words I want to say means it is 3 times of India's size. If 3 India is joined together means what will be the area now? That is the area of the Europe continent. Followed children size in the square kilometer it is 10.4 million square kilometer it is. In simple words I are taking means it is the 3 times of India's size. And what is the world area I am taking is there are 3 times of India. 7% of the total earth area is taken. 7% of the total area, what area is available for the human beings in the world, no? That in that it is 7% is covered by the Europe continent. But population is 25% of the world population, quarter of the total population of the world. That means it is thickly populated, not done. Land is 7%, but population is 25%. So it is thickly populated. Density means thickly populated. Europe is peninsula children. What is peninsula? If land is covered by water bodies in 3 sides and only one side land is there means that is called peninsula. Once again I repeat. Peninsula means if land is covered by water bodies in 3 sides and only one side land is there means that land is called as the peninsula. It is called Peninsula of Asia children. Later I will explain why it is called so. According to their speciality, all the continents are called by another name. How Asia is called land of contrast, like that Europe is called Peninsula of Asia. Why it is so, I will tell you that one later. Now you understood. Location means it is the northern hemisphere. It is in the northern hemisphere. Extent or size we are taking means it is 3 times of India. That is 10.4 million square kilometers and 56 countries are there in that. It is a peninsula. Why it is called so means peninsula is a nation. 3 side water bodies are there. What are those? That is Barents Sea, that is in the north of the Europe continent, and Mediterranean Sea in the south. and in the west it is having the Atlantic Ocean, and east side it is having the Asia continent. Asia continent is towards the east of the Europe, and in the south part it is having the one more continent, Africa. That one I will show in the map children. This Europe and Asia together, they are known as the Eurasia. This one you already learned in the Asia lesson children. Europe and Asia together are known as the Eurasia. Why it is so? See children, this Europe and Asia are very close. They are together means they are not joined. In between, Ural mountain is there, Caspian Sea is there. Understood no? Between Europe and Asia, Ural mountain and Caspian Sea are there. But they are not barriers between these two continents, Europe and Asia. They are not the barriers. They are not the hindrances to move to Europe or to move to the Asia. They are not the barriers. Because of this reason, they are together known as the Eurasia. Follow children, this one, second time it is repeated. In the Asia it is there. Yes. Now, same thing what I explained now, its physical feature, questions covered by this one, and how it is having the Europe, Asia and Africa continent. That one I will show in the map. Yes, world physical map I taken children. This is Europe continent. This one is Asia. Here only Ural mountain is there. Yellow line, can you see? This is the Ural mountain in between Europe and Asia. See children, this is all Asia only. Here Asian Minor is there. Plateau of Iran is there. Here only Europe continent. Europe continent come like this. Clear picture of Europe I will show in from your textbook. Now you can see here Europe. This is Asia, and south of this Europe is having in the east part Asia continent, and in the south part it is having the Africa. And three side water bodies I said no children. See Europe continent, this one. In the north part it is having the Barents Sea. Can you see here? Barents Sea. And in the west part it is having the Atlantic Ocean. This blue color. Atlantic Ocean it is. And in the south part it is having the Mediterranean Sea. Here children, middle. Europe continent and the between Africa, Mediterranean Sea is there. Followed? Yes. Then here Alps mountain. Alps mountain, they are like our Himalaya children. That one it is. Great European plains are here. Great European plains there. Yes. See children, Europe continent. Here Ural mountain. Can you see? After Ural mountain only you are having the Asia continent. Here south of the Europe continent you are having the Mediterranean Sea. In the west you are having the Atlantic Ocean. In the Europe south part, Africa. Then Barents Sea is there in the north. Here Barents Sea. And main physical features in the Europe are Great European Plains. Here see children. Great European Plains. Then Alps mountain. Here Alps mountain. Black Sea is here. Black Sea. Yes. Now we learn about the physiography children. What type of physical features are there in the Europe continent? That one. See children, Europe has unique physical geography it is. How it is? See, in the western and the southern parts of the continent is characterized by the mountains, plateaus and plains. That one, they are there in the south, west to the south part it is. Then the highest point in the Europe continent is Mount Elbrus. This is the highest point in the Europe continent, and the lowest point is the Caspian Sea. What Caspian Sea bed is there? No, that is the lowest point in the Europe continent. What is their size means? This Mount Elbrus is 5,633 meters. Its height. Then lowest point of the Caspian Sea is 28 meter less than the sea level. 28 meter less than the sea level. Lowest point it is. And Europe has indented, means irregular coastal line. Coastal line is not at one stretch. In between it is broken. It is cut is there. Indent it is called. Coastal line. Coastal line is nearly 8,500 kilometers long coastal line it is having. Then Britain and Ireland are the biggest islands. In the coastal line of the Europe continent, it is having thousands of islands here. Many islands it is having. In that, Britain and Ireland are the largest islands. Then Europe is called by two names. Europe is known as Peninsula of Peninsulas. Then Europe is known as the Peninsula of Asia. You are having these questions on the give reason children. This one also give reason. Means you have to write the reason why it is called so. Now I will explain this one. These two why it is called by this. Yes. See, Europe continent is known as Peninsula of Peninsulas. Europe is peninsula itself. Whole continent of the peninsula. Three sides is covered by the water bodies. Barents Sea, Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea. And only one side, each side is having the Asia continent. So it is a peninsula. That is the first reason. Second one, Peninsula of Peninsulas. That means in the Europe continent, number of countries are peninsula countries. India is a peninsula country. Do you know? Even India is also covered by three water bodies. Children, only in the north part it is having the land. Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal covered the India. From the west, Arabian Sea is there. From the south, Indian Ocean is there. In the east, Bay of Bengal is there. Only in the north part it is having the land. Peninsula, no, it is. Like that, number of countries are peninsula countries in the Europe continent. Because of this reason, it is called as the Peninsula of Peninsulas. I hope you understood the meaning of this one. Europe itself is a peninsula. Moreover, that is the one first reason. Second reason is, even in the Europe continent also, number of countries are peninsulas. They are small one, Europe is the big one. So it is called as the Peninsula of Peninsulas. Follow? Yes. Second one, Europe is known as Peninsula of Asia. Why it is called Peninsula of Asia? See children, Asia and Europe together are called Eurasia. Just I explained that one. Together, that Eurasia is called Asiatic land. That Eurasia is called as the Asiatic land. If you together are taking that Asiatic land, together Asia and Europe, in that it is the biggest peninsula. Europe is the biggest peninsula. So it is called Peninsula of Asia. Followed no children? In the Asiatic land, this Europe is the biggest peninsula. So it is called as the Peninsula of Asia. Understood? Yes. These are the reasons, children. For today's class, location, extent and physiography is enough, children. Its physical features are there. That one I will take in the next class. For today's class, I will give the homework. Yes, homework for today, children. Which is the sixth largest continent? How many countries are there in Europe? What is Eurasia? Mention the highest and lowest point of Europe. Europe is known as Peninsula of Asia. This is one question. Another one. Europe is known as Peninsula of Peninsulas. For these two, you have to give results. You have to write the results for these two. I given the flower point, you can see this give results. So you write here results. You have to write pointwise. Okay. Yes. Enough for today. In the next class, I will take the physical divisions of the Europe continent. Thank you.